Somewhat recently, I made a video about the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, but I talked about in that video not using this as my primary camera, the one that you're seeing me through. For that, up to this point, I've been using the Sony a6300, which has been a reasonably good camera, but it does still have a tendency to overheat, and it doesn't have a tilty flippy up screen. It just tilts out a little bit, not terribly useful, and autofocus, it could be better. So when Sony announced the a6400 a while back, I bought it, and unfortunately it's been sitting on the shelf with lots and lots of other things. While filming a recent video, the a63 overheated on me again, and I decided that I've had enough. So today we're going to open up, take a look at, compare to the a6300, and get started using on a regular basis the Sony a6400. As you can see here, I did buy the kit that has the 18-135 lens in it. The kit lenses are usually not all that great. They're okay. But what I'm using on my a6300 right now is the Sigma 16mm f1.4. So doing a quick comparison here is not going to be apples to apples. We'll go back and forth. We'll just see what happens. So what is new and different with the 6400? A much better, newer autofocusing system, same kind of one that's in the Sony a9. 425 phase and contrast detect autofocus points. A lot better and more eye autofocus, which is something I've really been missing with this camera. There is no stabilization built in, but the a6300 didn't have it either, and I don't really walk around while holding this camera, so it's not that big a deal to me. It does, of course, as I mentioned, add that tilt up screen, which is awesome. Full 180-degree flip, more ISO range if that's something you're into. It's got a built-in time-lapse mode, which again, not something I really use on this kind of camera, but now I can, because I'd never bothered to get the play memories and pay $10 and whatever else, just didn't do it. It's got an HLG, an HDR profile built into it. No more 30-minute video limit. Overheating is supposed to be better, just like in the a6500. And the body only is $900 on this camera. I think I paid $11.99 or $12.99, something like that, to get it with the 18-135 lens. But if I decide to take this with me on vacation or something, having that range, 18-135, will be very nice. So without any further ado, let's see what's in the box. I've been going on too long. Documentation, camera strap, eyepiece cover, NP-FW50 battery, the same as I've had in every other Sony camera up till now. USB wall charger, micro USB cable, the flowered lens hood, tulip petal, whatever they want to call it. The 18-135 lens, definitely significantly larger than the 16-50 I've been using, because I don't think I mentioned it. Up until very, very recently, I was using the 16-50 on this camera in this setup because it was working just fine. I switched to the 16mm after I did the video about the ND filters, the magnetic swappable filters, just because I had forgotten what I was missing, and now I'm far enough away from the camera that I can't really hear the autofocusing out of the Sigma, because normally I can still kind of hear it when I'm editing, but neither here nor there. And the last thing in the box, hopefully, is the camera body with the E-mount here squarely on the front. These flippy things that are super obnoxious that you'd put the camera strap on. A slightly improved grip, make it a little bit easier to hang on to. NFC tag that I've never seen anybody use, but if you do, let me know. A little pop open section here with multi-port, the USB charging port, the micro HDMI, as well as 3.5mm audio, a door on the bottom, same as it always is, with the battery and the SD card slot. All of those buttons you've come to know and love on the back. This looks like exactly the same layout as the 6300, with an EVF over here, cold shoe mount on the top, poppy uppy flash there, like that. It'll probably never open again. A customizable button here on the top. And that's that. Honestly, at this point, if you've not seen an a6400 video and you're watching this one, I'll be very surprised. I'll be very pleased, but also very surprised. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this lens on here. Just line up the white dots and give it a twist. There you go. But here's what it looks like with the 18-135. That is significant. Not what I would call pocketable by any stretch, but if you wanted to put this on a camera strap and just like keep it on your side or something, they also make some camera straps that have the tripod mount on them. Either of those options would work just fine, and this is not going to be completely gigantic and overbearing. Walk around and take photos and whatnot like you do, or videos, because you can now pull this out and do a flippy up. Look at that. Now this is a little different than any other camera I've ever used. The mechanism for doing the flippy is very, very weird. So you start flipping it out, you have to actually pull it out and then up. So it does this weird 90-degree angle thing and then comes back around to flip the rest of the way up. So that's an interesting thing. But when I'm traveling, this will definitely make it a whole lot easier to get the shots I want to get. But I'm going to take just a minute, get this set up next to my main camera, and we'll just do some back and forth and let you know what it looks like. All right, and this is not going to be absolutely perfect, but I tried to get it as close as I could. So here on this side, I have the Sony a6300 with the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens. On the other side, I have the a6400 with the 18-135 lens from Sony, but I have them both set to the same settings. So f3.5, ISO 125, and shutter speed 1/60th of a second, with the white balance set to 5500 Kelvin to match the lighting. Looking in the monitors, the TV that I have on one side and the small monitor that I have on top of the Sony camera, they look very similar. The framing is a little off because, again, 16mm versus 18, and there's a couple of inches difference in terms of how far away they are. The a6400 is about 2 inches farther back, maybe 4, but they should both have very similar video quality. They both should have very similar autofocus. Let's just do a quick test. If I move this in closer, I can see that the a6400 picked it up and is focusing on it. Now the a6300 is, yeah, it picked it up and focused on it. But again, I'm using a Sigma lens, so it's going to take a little bit more time. So it's not an apples to apples comparison, but this should be an excellent stand-in for what I've been using, especially for traveling. And other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot more that I can show. It's just a very minor improvement. So if you have the 6300, if you are thinking of going to the 6400, the biggest differences I think you're going to see are it's not going to overheat. If it does, it's going to be a really rare occurrence. You're not supposed to have that 30-minute recording time limit, which I think is part of the reason why this camera overheated. It actually made it to a half an hour, but then it turned off right as I was saying the last sentence. But then also you should technically have slightly better autofocus. It should be more in line with Sony's new flagship cameras. The A9, the A7 III, the A6600, all of the higher end cameras that they offer. This A6400 is supposed to have the exact same autofocusing system, so I cannot complain about that in the slightest. I have not gone in and tweaked anything, just put it in manual mode and made everything match between the two cameras. So let me know what you think about it. Do you think it's worth it? If you're using something older like the A6000, the A5100, anything like that, and you're looking to upgrade, this is definitely, in my opinion, a good option. And I think that's where I'll wrap it up for today. I'm going to be spending a lot more time with it in the place of the A6300. Probably selling my a6300 because there's no reason to have two very similar cameras. So if you liked the video, I guess hit the thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you are not already. Hit the notification bell if you want to get notified when new videos come out. And I'll put links, affiliate links that help support the channel down below if you'd like to purchase one of these for yourself, if you're looking to make your own YouTube videos. But keep in mind, your smartphone will generally do very well, excellent quality video. You don't have to have something like this. I've been doing this for a long time, and I like the way that the video coming out of these Sony cameras looks. That's why I do tend to use them and stick to them. Very versatile, amazing autofocus, halfway decent audio preamps built in so that I can use microphones and not have a whole lot of background hiss, although I'm not doing that at the moment. But yeah, let me know what you think. I've gone on way too long. Thanks so much for watching. I'm looking back and forth here, but thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you again next time.